Hi guys, welcome to the Kei Show, where we dissect and understand the necessary elements to perform better in life and beyond. Today we're gonna do our first episode from our Start Right series, and we have a very special guest today. We're going to talk about something that is really important for Malaysians, which is food. So today I have Adele with me from Nutrition Track, a service that tells you the truth about eating and also healing through food. So Adele is a dietitian by profession and also a certified fitness instructor. She preaches about food to individuals and also corporate bodies to embrace healthy lifestyle and eating. She is from the University of Sydney and she graduated with a master's in nutrition and dietetics. Hi Adele, how are you?
Hi Fahmi, thank you for having me here on your show today. I'm excited to talk about food and nutrition.
If you talk about food in Malaysia, we are really famous for good food, but sometimes good food has their consequences. Malaysia has been the first in terms of ranking in obesity around Southeast Asia. So let's ask Adele on how do people develop a good habit and how do people keep at it?
That's a very good question, Fahmi. I would say, first of all, education is very important and knowledge about food, because you need to know what is in your food and how that applies to you as an individual specifically. So once you know that, and then you can look and reflect on what you're missing in your own diet, and then you can put in place strategies to work on that. So for example, if let's say you're not eating enough fruit, then you may want to ask yourself, why am I not eating enough fruit? And then one possible reason is because, maybe I forgot to bring it with me. So one good habit that you can practice is to carry fruit with you to work or to school, and then you can have it for a snack. So yeah, it's things like that. It's finding where you are missing in terms of practicing good nutrition habits and then putting in place strategies that will work for you. So, and another advice is to practice one habit at a time. Make it so easy that you can do it continuously for not just like 1 or 2 weeks, but lifelong, and just focus on one habit at a time. So if let's say fruit is your priority at a time, then focus on this habit and then practice it for as long as you can, and once it's automatic, and then you move on to the next habit. You think you maybe look at other areas, maybe your vegetables you might want to consider.
So what are your advice for people who is always on move?
In terms of eating better?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, for me, I always go eating outside. So that's very difficult for me to pack food or to get to know what am I going to get from maybe the mama stall or fast food.
Yeah. Okay. So that is a very good question. So in terms of nutrition, it's not about always focusing on healthy foods and labeling foods what's good and what's bad. Because obviously it's not realistic most of the time. Like people who are busy, who actually have a life, who need to go about day to day, they're not always thinking about food and being able to prepare your own food. So in that circumstance, I would say always go for the better option and the best option of what you have available. So don't aim for perfect. Don't go into a mama store and say like, oh, nothing here is healthy. But there are healthier options.
So meaning to say, like, instead of having roti canai or roti telur, maybe you can get like chapati.
Yeah, either chapati or toast or something
or
that's less
drinks.
oily.
I think drinks is the culprit in our society.
Oh yes, definitely. It's a lot easier to drink your calories with a lot of sugar and doesn't fill you up.
That's the thing. For me, I think that I consume a lot of soft drinks or teh tarik for people, and that actually contributes a lot to the calories and
the sugar for sure. Yeah.
Okay, there's another question actually, which is there's a lot of diets out there: Atkins diet, keto diet, vegan diet, I don't know. There's a lot of it. So are these fats, or will they stay longer? For example, keto diet, they consume more fat instead of carbs as fuel. So does this have any effect to the body?
Okay, I'm going to ask you a first question first. Whether or not they are fats and whether or not they work, right? Whether or not these diets work. Okay, so basically all of these diets are just, well, they have one thing in common, which is to help you control your calorie intake. Because weight loss, fat loss is all about energy balance. So you eat more than you expend, then obviously you gain weight. You eat less than you expend, you lose weight. And if you eat the same, you maintain your weight. So what all these diets have in common is to control your calorie intake and to keep it at a deficit. So if you're on these diets and you are able to control your energy intake, which is below, like if you're eating below what you need for the day, then for sure they will work. But in terms of it being long-term or sustainable, that would depend on the individual itself. On the person,
like
definitely.
You said, does it develop a habit that you can follow? Or?
Yeah. So if, for example, if you're the type of person who really loves carbs and you can't go a day without thinking about it, then I would say there's no point going on a keto diet, because you're going to go on it for a while, and then eventually you're going to break, and then you're going to go back to eating carbs. So I don't really see the point in doing something that's not sustainable. Yeah.
All right. So what are the side effects actually?
Okay, that's a pretty tough question to answer, but obviously if you are cutting out certain groups, food groups, and only sticking to certain foods and not eating enough variety, you are at risk of missing certain micronutrients. I would say, I wouldn't say that you cannot get all that you need from the foods you're eating, but you do need to consult a professional to help you see where the gaps are and whether or not what you're currently eating is enough to meet your needs. So definitely when you go into a diet or whatever diet you choose, make sure you know why you're doing it, like the purpose of what you're doing and the diet that you're going to do, and seek advice, professional advice, and seek professional advice to see whether or not that will fit with you and whether or not you're meeting all your nutrient needs through that diet.
So Nutrition Track is actually a service that helps people to know more about their body, their lifestyle, and what they eat. So after they know all this information, they come out with a plan that actually complements your lifestyle, that will help you either if you want to have different goals, for example, weight loss or gain muscles, and other purposes. For example, you are diabetic or having other diseases. You can check on Nutrition Track on their Instagram. I think Adele can inform us on the handles.
So you can follow my Instagram page, which is @NutritionTrack, one word, and also on my Facebook page, which is also @NutritionTrack.
So we talk about all these kind of fat diets like Atkins and keto, but we always talk about different strategies like hitting macros or calorie countings or eating nutrient-rich food. So which is the best strategy to achieve your goals?
Again, that is a very good question. To me, these are all really good strategies. They all work. It's just that you need to find which one will work for you. All these different strategies come with a purpose. Again, whatever you do, you always need to find a purpose. So for example, obviously all these strategies will not work for certain individuals. So for example, if you are someone who needs to hit a certain goal weight or within a certain time, so obviously then counting calories and macros is quite crucial so that it can complement your training program so that you are able to hit your goal within that certain time. Okay, so whereas for example, for a normal person who's just going about their day-to-day life, they're not wanting to hit a certain goal by a certain time, and they're just wanting to practice healthy eating habits, then focusing on nutrient-rich foods then will probably be a more sustainable method for them. But having said that, I would say everyone, especially if you're new to nutrition, I would advise to go on calorie counting and weighing out your food for at least 2 weeks, just so that you can gauge portion sizes and how much you're eating throughout the day. Because we normal as individuals, I guess we really underestimate how much we actually eat in a day. So it's good practice, and once you get that skill, like when you weigh out your food, you know, oh, I need to eat this much protein, I need to eat this much veg and this much rice. When you visually see it already, then after 2 weeks, after weighing it out 2 weeks, you've got the skill of, like, you know, you can gauge how much you're eating roughly. Then you can just focus on eating nutrient-rich foods, and you will know in terms of the portion size and how much you should be eating.
Okay, as we know, Malaysia is very famous for the food, roti canai, nasi lemak, and all this good stuff. But the question is always, the $1,000,000 question is always, how can I enjoy being Malaysian who always love the food, but I want to be healthy? How do I enjoy these delicacies?
I would say there's nothing wrong with eating these foods, definitely. So you can definitely still have your foods. Just watch how much you're eating and how often. Okay, so everything in moderation. I know moderation is a very gray area because moderation looks very different on everyone. But yeah, find your balance. You really need to find your balance. That's really all I can say.
I mean, self-control, I think, is one of the most important aspect in getting a healthier life.
Yes, but also not only on top of self-control, you do need to not be too obsessive also in terms of food intake.
Meaning to say that if you miss, or if you ate something which you're not supposed to eat, then you shouldn't be too hard on yourself.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just relax. It's just food.
It's just, I think it's more towards like she said, moderation. If you want to say, like, you can't really eat nasi lemak every day, maybe twice per week is good enough. Getting your teh tarik hit for maybe 2 times or 3 times, not per day, but per week or per month is good enough, right?
Yeah. And there are always options. So if you do want to have your teh tarik, you can always ask for maybe no sugar or less sugar.
But that's always a problem, because when you say to the mama, you say, hey mama, kurang manis, it's always still too manis, right?
So maybe you have to say no sugar then.
Yeah.
And probably you find that right balance somewhere in between.
Maybe you should do it yourself. All right. That's all the time we have. Thank you, Adele, for your insights. I think these 4 questions can help you kickstart whatever you think about nutrition and healthy living, and to start right in terms of maybe your fitness or active lifestyle. So Adele, any last remarks you want to say to the Kei Show viewers? And you might want to tell how we can contact you and know more about Nutrition Track.
I would say to all the viewers out there, eat your veggies, drink your coffee. And please just follow me on Instagram. I provide a lot of information, tips and tricks to nutrition, healthy eating, healthy living. It's all there at Nutrition Track for my Instagram page, and Facebook page is at Nutrition Track as well. And you can look me up on my website, www.nutritiontrack.my. Jangan lupa follow Kei.